Hey YouTube, Maddie's Daddy 12, Team JMT, coming to you guys with the latest Understanding Stun segment. This one I'm going to talk about anti-meta, and the cards that I think you need to be trying out and playing when building an anti-meta deck. This has been probably the most requested of the Understanding Stun segments, and I've been really leery about bringing you guys this segment as of now because I'm not really comfortable with the deck lists that I've put together, and that's what that's what everybody's been asking for, is they want to see my deck list for anti-meta, and I'm just not comfortable with putting something on my channel that I don't think is going to be competitive for everybody. So it's just, with as diverse as this meta is right now, I just really feel like this game is bad right now, because I could go to a regional, and I mean, it's good that there's so many different decks, but on a competitive level, it just seems so bad that I feel like any random deck can come to a regional right now and win. I mean, I can go to a regional and face 8 different opponents with 8 completely different decks. I mean, I could face Scraps, Hopeless Dragons, Herald of Perfection, Sams, Gravekeepers, Gladiator Beast, Black Wings, Junk Doppel, I mean, Karakuri Plants, KMP. I mean, it's just, all of it is out there, and there's just so much stuff that you have to consider when trying to build this deck. So the first thing that I think you need to do when trying to build an anti-meta deck is, first you have to get a grasp of what the meta is in your area. I really feel like before you go to a regional with an anti-meta deck, or even a Shonen Jump with an anti-meta deck, you really need to start off in your locals, and you really need to understand exactly what the meta is in your locals. I mean, you really need to understand, how many Blackwings am I going to face? How many Sams am I going to face? How many times am I going to face an Infernity deck? You know, you really need to understand what you're going to face and what cards you need to affect those decks and answer those decks. So let's go ahead and go into the basic of the monsters, and there's quite a few here of the monsters that I want to talk about for the basic stand of the deck. So okay, let's go ahead and get into it. First, Thunder King YuGiOh, again, just an excellent anti-meta monster. He hurts samurais, he hurts sabers, he hurts I mean, he hurts so many things. He's also a pretty generic card, to be honest with you. I mean, this guy's getting play in a lot of stuff. So if you open him, you could play 2 or 3 turns before your opponent really understands what you're playing. I mean, you can open him and they're still wondering if you're playing Gladiator Beast. Are you playing Gemini Stun? Are you playing Hero Beat? Are you playing anti-meta? I mean, they really don't know, because he's getting played in so many different things. Next, something that's going to hurt every graveyard-dependent deck, Banisher of the Radiance. I just really love and hate this card. He affects the meta so well, but then again, he's only 1600 attack. So how good is he if your opponent can just summon out something and run him over? But again, he just, so many things that he can do for you. But then also remember, he's only 1600. He's going to get ran over eventually. Next, talking about getting ran over, we'll talk about a card that won't get ran over. Spirit Reaper, an amazing card. He's going to make your opponent wait. You're going to stay him out there, they're going to attack, and they're just going to have to set and set and set. Also, what this guy can do is he can eat up a Solemn Warning like no other. You're going to summon this guy in an offensive tactic and try to poke at him. You know, get in their Reaper for 300, get in their Reaper, take their hand, take their hand, take their hand. They don't want that to happen. They don't want you to get that card out of their hand. They're going to pay 2,000 life points, and they're going to negate this guy. They don't have much of a choice. So I love this guy right now, and they're giving me 2 of him. I just think that's great. I mean, I'm gonna play this guy. I would really like to see you guys playing, just because I feel like he affects the meta that much. Next, Fossil Dyna. Again, I mean, he's Royal Oppression on legs. You can set him. He's going to flip and destroy all their special summon. In a situation where you could set him and Sam's try to go big on you, they attack him, he flips, you're going to destroy their whole side of the field. I mean, he does a lot of good stuff for you. However, again, he's small. He's 1,200, 1,300, so 1,200 attack, 1,300 defense. So he's kind of hard to manage, but then he's also really big problems for your opponent. Next, I want to talk about a guy that, again, will burn Solemn Warnings and will burn up Bottomless Trap Holes. Breaker the Magical Warrior, you will summon, he will gain a token, he'll be 1,900, and you can do one of two things. You can either attack for the 19, or you can pop the token and blow up their back row. If they're setting on a Bottomless Trap Hole or a Solemn Warning, they're going to use it on this card, because if they don't, you're going to pop the token and blow up the Solemn Warning. So if they don't Solemn Warning him and take 2,000 damage, you're going to pop the token and attack them for 1,600. So do they want to take 1,600 and still have to deal with the monster, or do they just want to take 2,000 and get rid of the monster? That's what he does for you. He's gonna eat up those back row for you. Plus, if you're able to pop off the token and destroy their back row, you're getting the +1, because you're still able to attack for the 16 and they still have to deal with the monster. Last, I want to talk about King Tiger Wangu, another card that affects just so much of the meta. This guy is just so good. I don't feel like he's getting enough credit or enough play right now, for kind of the same reason as Banisher. I don't feel like he affects enough of the meta to be as efficient as Banisher the Radiance, but he affects a lot of it. However, he is still just 1,700 attack, and he's going to get ran over. However, you're going to slow a lot of people down with this. Sam's have a big problem with him, because a lot of Sam's plays are built off of Kageki Kagamushu. Well, if they can't go Kageki Kagamushu because he's on the field, then you're going to slow them down, and they're going to have to wait on turns until they're able to do things, and until they are, you're going to be able to go poke, 17, 17, 17, and I mean, it gives you a chance to eat up some turns. So there's the monsters that I want to talk about. Real quick, I want you guys to realize that I don't have Doomcal in this list. The reason Doom Caliber Knight is not in this list is two reasons. One, he's getting reprinted, so I sold all my copies of the Doom Caliber Knight. I actually got a really good deal on my last playset, and so I technically right now do not have any Doom Caliber Knights. So that's one reason why you're not going to see him in the video. Two, I don't really feel like Doomcal is affecting enough of the meta right now. I feel like he's slow right now compared to what the meta is doing, and I really just don't feel like he is affecting near enough of the meta to make him worth playing in the deck. Now, if I'm to build the deck right now and play it, I'm probably still going to play one or possibly two, but I just don't really feel like he's affecting enough of the meta to really demand spots in an anti-meta deck right now. And I'm not saying that he's a bad card. He's still one of my favorite cards. However, I kind of feel like he's going to make a comeback, but right now he's just not as good as he has been. So keep that in mind when you're building this deck. You don't have to have Doomcal in this deck anymore. So just consider that, opening up those spots that you would normally have Doomcals in, and maybe main decking the Breaker that you didn't have room for before, or the Banisher, or the King Tiger Wangu that you didn't have room for before. So just consider that. Next, what I want to talk about is battle. The big thing about anti-meta is you have a lot of 1900 and 17 and 1800 beaters, but you have to win battle. Compared to what some of these other decks can do when they go big, 1900 doesn't always stand up. That's why you need cards that will help you win battles. First off, I'm main decking 2 Smashing Grounds. If they don't have the monster for you to battle with, then you're going to win that battle. Your King Tiger can attack directly if they don't have a monster. Your Banisher, that would normally get ran over, can attack directly if they don't have a monster. That's why Smashing Ground is so good. He's a 1-for-1 trade-off, and you're going to get to destroy that problem monster for you, which is going to, of course, allow you to win that battle. Next are all quick play spell cards, and what I'm wanting to talk about with these cards is not just, well, let's talk about this one first. Shrink. This is a card that's been overlooked quite a bit until it popped up in, wow, the guy's name escaped me right now. One of the guys did good at a recent YCS with this in Black Wings. He actually replaced his 2 Kalutes, the 2 Kalutes that he lost in the last ban list with Shrinks. Of course, this is going to allow you to win battles because you're just going to half their monsters. So it's good stuff. I mean, anything 3,000 or less becomes reachable for any of your monsters. So Shrink, excellent card, is going to allow you to win battles. Next, what I want to talk about are 2 cards that have a little more offensive and defensive uses. Let's talk about Lance first. Forbidden Lance is going to allow you to, 1, win battles because I can attack and then lance your monster, which makes it lose 800 attack, which is good because then I'm able to run it over. Next, Lance also allows your monsters to stick the field. What do I mean by stick the field? Normally in an anti-meta deck, you're not going to run much more than 15 to 17 monsters, so you really can't give up monsters as you can in other decks. So you really need your monsters to stick to the field. So if I summon Thunder King and my opponent tries to bottomless trap hole it, I can then lance my monster and Thunder King will stay on the field. Thunder King will stick to the field, and then my opponent will have to find another way to answer Thunder King. Granted, Thunder King at that point is only going to be 1100, which is going to make it a little hard for him to be a beat stick at that point, but that only lasts for the turn. So, again, a double use out of Lance, and will allow you to win battles. Next, another card that has been overlooked for a while until one of the recent YCSs, I believe it was Anaheim, when the guy was playing Gemini Stun or Hero Beat, and one playing 2 Forbidden Chalice. Forbidden Chalice will make Thunder King and Doom Cow 2300, also negating their effects for the turn. That's kind of the downfall of it. However, is that really a downfall whenever you can watch your opponent summon a Dark Arm Dragon and you chalice it? You know, your opponent's using up their graveyard and not blowing up anything on your side of the field. They're still destroying this one card technically, but then the monster is effectless and you're able to deal with it on your next turn. So again, a card that you can use in different ways, but once again will still allow you to win battles. Your monsters are really important in this deck, and I really feel like you have to win battles in order to win when playing anti-meta. Next, something that you need to keep in mind is that you need outs to certain cards. You need outs to Sheehan and Stardust and problem cards for your opponents. And if I'm looking for outs, I want those outs to be 1 card. So what I've got here are just a couple of monsters that are 1 card outs to a lot of different stuff. First, I want to talk about DD Warrior Lady. This is a card that you've seen pop up in a lot of the Hero Beat decks. Just a really good card. She's a 1 card out to Sheehan, to Stardust Dragon, to Scrap Dragon being able to special summon from the graveyard whenever he's destroyed. She's a one card out to so many things, and that's what makes this card really, really good for you. That's a card that I will probably be taking in my anti-meta. Next, a card that I feel like you guys should all be playing when you build anti-meta, and maybe even playing in any deck that you build right now. Gale. Gale is a one card out to so many things right now, especially Stardust and Sheehan. Those are the two big problem cards that you will face in this deck, and that's why I feel like, especially with Stardust, that's why I feel like the winning the battles right here are very important for you. This card will do the same thing for you. You just summon him out. Anything that is 2,500 attack or less, he's going to run over. Just summon it out, shrink it, die, Stardust, die. Also, to keep in mind, he is a 3-star tuner, which gives you access to so many good cards from your extra deck. So, yeah, keep that in mind, guys. Really, really good card. Next, probably my most favorite card in the game, my own personal bouncer, Neospacian Grand Mole. Again, I just really, really love this card. You attack into anything, and you're going to bounce it. Great card when going up against Sheehan, when going up against Stardust, when going up against Colossal Fighter, or just any synchro. If you run this card into any synchro, he's gonna be a +1 to maybe even 3 for you, depending on what they've used to synchro for that monster. He's going to be a plus for you if you're attacking into a synchro monster. So just an excellent card to use, and a one card out to so many things. So to recap, guys, this is what I'm looking for right now when I'm trying to build an anti-meta deck. One, I'm looking for monsters and cards that will affect the open meta. That's really hard to do. You have to understand your local meta in order to do that. Two, I'm looking to win battles. Smashing Ground will help you win battles. Deprison will help you win battles. Bottomless Trap Hole, Solemn Warning, Compulsory Evacuation Device, Lance, Chalice, Shrink, Rush Recklessly even. Those are cards that are going to help you win battles. And then I'm looking for one card outs to problems that I will have. And I'm using DD Warrior Lady. I'm using Neospacian Grandmo. I'm using Grandmaster. Or I'm sorry, not Grandmaster. Jiu-Jitsu Master. I'm using one card outs to so many things, and it's just so, when built right, this deck runs so smooth. But with the meta as open and as diverse as it is, I have to apologize to you guys again. I really want to bring you guys a deck list, but I'm not comfortable bringing you guys a deck list that I don't feel like is going to win. So there you go, guys. I appreciate it. Take the information that I've given you and build your own anti-meta deck that works for your locals. And then give me a video response. Do a deck profile and give me a video response. I'll check it out. I'll approve it, and I'll let all my viewers see your deck profile also. Maybe get you guys a couple of subscriptions out of it. So once again, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, comment down below. Show us how much you love us.